All right. Sound speedy.
There it goes.
Here it goes. Bryan Johnson.
What's up?
Brandon Lauer.
Hi.
Welcome back, Brandon.
Yep.
Hey, Brian. What's up, man?
Dude, it's going great. I want to be welcome back one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how this one goes. This
Yeah.
is your
This
this is your interview.
Yeah, let's kind of
downstream.
slow our roll a little
You got to
bit.
find two people
Yeah.
to come on the podcast.
Right.
And then
It's
you
a
can
pyramid
Yeah,
scheme.
it's a
Yeah.
pyramid scheme. Yeah. This is all sales and marketing, is this podcast.
Wow. Dang, you must have a ton of followers by now then.
We have millions.
Wow.
Billions, actually. Billions of followers.
I believe it.
Brian, what do you do?
I am a husband, a father, a churchgoer.
Good answer.
Yeah, I should have said that first. Jesus, baby.
That's the same order that Caleb Fancy said.
Really?
He said father, or he said husband, father, and then loves his God.
Okay, loves his God, and I love my God too. And
Same God?
Too.
same God.
Same God?
Yeah, same God. And a photographer.
Come on.
Shout out God if he's listening to this podcast.
Yeah, shout out God if you're out there.
I'm sure he's
a-
hey, three or
he's a
more
huge
gathered,
fan.
right?
He's got to be a fan of
He's gotta be here.
this show.
He's gotta be
Gotta
here.
be here.
Well, let's go
And
to let's
what
go
are you after a
to
God lover?
I said I was a photographer.
photographer.
Yeah,
he said
dude, you missed
photographer.
that.
Anything else? Do you do video? Just photo?
I don't really. Our studio has done video, but
Okay.
it's not normally something I touch.
That was the first thing I wanted to ask about. Studio. So most people I know who are photo video people here in town are freelance for the most part. You have a studio and you went the whole like build a business and hire people route.
Yep.
Why did you do that?
I think for me, I always want work to be bigger than me, and I want to do it with remarkable people. So I think that probably fueled a desire to have it be something more than just myself. Although these days it's mainly myself. My wife helps me out, and I have people who help me out. I've had iterations of my studio where there's been a lot of people working with me, but at this point, less people. But
Yeah.
is that a fair answer?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say you just have separation anxiety. You just hate working alone.
Well, it's funny
Yeah.
because we've interviewed a bunch of photo video people around town, and so many of them have somehow or another come across you, either like
Okay.
worked for you or like
Yeah.
been an intern, or you were just
Yeah.
giving them advice through the process.
Yeah. Or they assisted me on
Yeah.
Yeah.
one random wedding, or
Right.
Pastor Jeff Heine was in the fold at one point.
the list of people who have assisted me on jobs is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably like 50% of our guests. Genuinely.
Probably
The
is.
fact that you haven't yet is kind of amazing.
Dude, what are you doing? What are you doing this weekend?
Well, I was going to the beach.
Can you hold a
but
camera?
I can hold a camera.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
I've touched cameras
Talk.
before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Touch camera? All
Yeah,
right.
we'll figure
Good.
something out.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
Okay, so what do you focus on primarily with photo?
So, historically, I cut my teeth in the industry. What I feel like I'm known most for is wedding and family work. And now I am primarily commercial work, brand narrative work, working with organizations, telling their stories visually. So, but most people have known me historically for the wedding work.
Yeah. Did you intend to like? I feel like a lot of times the trajectory for photographers is like, I'm college age, I get into photography, and all my friends get married, so I can
Yeah.
shoot all their weddings.
Yeah.
But eventually, I want to shoot for like National Geographic or whatever.
Sure,
Was
sure.
that sort of like your intention to get to where
I
you are
don't know
now?
if I had a whole lot of plan or like forethought other than exactly that. Friends started getting married, and I was the guy that everybody knew had a camera, and I started shooting them for free, and
Yeah.
slowly figured out I probably should start charging some money.
Right.
Well, you always latched on to work that other people were doing, and you're really inspired by their work. So it wasn't necessarily that you felt that there was this linear path of I'm going to go shoot for National Geographic as much as you. Yeah, I think you had a quick affinity for Holger and John. And, and you know, several other photographers that really did an amazing job of like focusing on lifestyle, you know, or that lens of lifestyle photography, to where you going into the heartland by yourself didn't really strike you as much as like and weddings was one of the most pivotal, real, authentic, event-based moments that you can keep coming back to.
And I kind of came into it where it was like I graduated college in 2002, so the photography world at that time was primarily like very sterile and very formulaic. I'm speaking specifically around wedding photography. So it was an interesting time because I wanted to bring a little bit more I wanted it to be more emotive. I wanted it to be more experimental. And my friends were young enough and dumb enough to be like, yeah, do that. I'm sure their parents were stressed out. Like, I don't know if you've interviewed Kerry Norton, but he is a photographer who works right over here at Make. We came out of Sanford together, and we would do what is called cross process. We would take slide film and we'd process it in a C41 processor, and it would just like jack up the colors. I can just imagine these mothers getting their photos back, and they were just like, "What are these guys doing?" Yeah. I was able to be experimental, and you know, weddings are highly emotive, and that's the stuff that really ignites me and that I would get fired up about. So I loved just all of the energy that came with it, and so.
Did you start on film, or did you have digital?
I feel like it was a very interesting start because I graduated, I bought a film camera, and a year later, the D100 came out, which was like kind of broke the industry as like the first kind of consumer grade, kind of like semi-professional digital camera that's affordable came out, and I bought that. So I'm this kind of mutt where it's like I kind of hit
You're in the transition
right
period.
Before, like Carrie and I spent a ton of time in the darkroom in college. And then was shooting slide film for magazines when I came out, and then a year later it was digital. And then over time it was like I kind of can't get the film look that I used. Like the digital just couldn't get me what I wanted, and so it was slowly kind of moving back to film. So yeah.
What did you go to Sanford for? To study?
So I went to Sanford to study. I studied business management. I typically say of the top 10 things that I took out of Sanford, my education was not on that list.
Yeah, same. Maybe not. That's not fair. That's not fair for me to say. I did learn
Brock
a lot,
School of
but
Business. It was not the Brock School of Business yet. You know, it was like
School of Business.
Earliest times, I didn't know what I wanted to do. My father sells life insurance. My older brother sells life insurance with him. They were like, come work with us. I didn't know if that's what I would do. I had a very great guidance counselor at Sanford who my senior year said, I think you would be a bad insurance salesman. I think you should, like, why are you not pursuing photography? Like, you always have your camera. So, grateful for Suzanne Martin if she's listening. You know, you never know.
Probably.
You are really great with people, so you might have actually made a good insurance salesman.
It is possible.
Just I don't know.
It's not too late. It's not too late.
It definitely is not too late.
None of the policies would have made it to the admin.
Yeah, I would have sold a lot, but they just never would have like actually followed through.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
That's funny. Well, so when did you discover photography, or were you always into the arts growing up much too? Or
no, it's not into the arts. I grew up in a house with there was 4 boys. I was one of 4 boys in the suburbs of Atlanta, outside of Stone Mountain, right near Stone Mountain.
The
A, baby. That's for Matt Francisco. Does he watch at all?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope he watches this. It'd be hilarious if I just put that clip like in the clip that I post on Instagram. Does Matt watch this?
Just DM
Yeah.
directly.
Yeah.
No, I grew up in a very non-arts household. We played a lot of sports. I grew up in a very fun household, though. I think my parents were very reasonable. They were very wanted to say yes as much as they can. They wanted to be the home that everyone came to hang out at. So people would show up. We would play sports. It was just a blast. So that was more the culture I grew up in, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But like the arts was nothing that I was exposed to really growing up. My grandfather gave me a camera my junior year of high school, and I was on yearbook staff, and I was a very mid, like at most things, like high beta energy, like in most things in life. Is that fair?
Yeah. I don't know that you can undersell that. Yeah, I did want to interject when you said you all did sports. It was very much recreational.
No one in my family lettered in a sport.
Right.
Maybe my brother Craig lettered in baseball.
Okay.
They lettered in
But
having
there were
fun.
4
at
boys.
sports.
Yeah, we lettered in having fun in sports.
Yeah.
So we invented sports that were that kind of catered to the less athletic. So I
Maximize
can
the
explain
value.
some of those games later.
They invented a whole sport called Johnson ball.
Which was baseball, but because none of us could hit a ball, you throw the ball up to yourself.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
So those are the types
And you
of
play
things.
with just half the field.
Yeah.
Yes, those
That's
kind
great.
of things.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, you would enjoy it.
I would.
I mean, I don't know
probably
if you're
really
an
good
athlete
at
or not.
it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty B rated
Yeah.
at
Okay.
sports. So.
Beta.
What's below beta energy?
About below that?
No,
Dang.
maybe that on the sports level.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
So grandfather gives you
So
camera. Is that
grandfather
how
gives
you
me a
find-
camera, and I was never great at school or anything. It was fine, but they were like, "Hey, take your camera and go photograph a school soccer game." I was like, "Great!" So they gave me some film, and I'm shooting it, and I like all my homies are hanging out behind me, so I like turn around and like run a whole roll off of my friends hanging out, and I brought it back, and the editor was like, "Dude, these are like really good." And that was like the first time for me that I had like done something that people were like, "This is like great."
Yeah.
And it felt very natural to me. So they just kind of kept giving me assignments, and that was kind of where I started shooting and shot all through high school, and came to Sanford and shot for the Crimson. And
Which I have a theory on yearbook staff. I can't remember if we talked about it, but if I would say a fairly high percentage of people who are creative professionally at some point were on yearbook staff, which is pretty.
I should start polling.
It would be interesting to see that, because
I was on yearbook staff.
I talked to a lot of people that were creative, and I'm like, "Did you do yearbook staff?" And almost to a man or woman, they say yes.
And you're like, okay, hired.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it's the first time you're given non-curriculum type autonomy. It like feels like a job, right? Where it's a little open-ended. Go interview this person, or go shoot this, and it's a highly creative endeavor. And I think people get the bug for it because they just think this is just not sitting in a classroom memorizing facts and figures.
Yeah.
And so I've seen a lot of people. I'd be interested to hear from the creative people that you've interviewed how many have got.
Yeah, it was funny. Like
on yearbook staff.
When I was growing up, I had my little sister Chloe is like painter, drawer, like classic creative, if that makes sense. Like she was very good at the arts in like the classic sense. And so I never thought I was that. I thought I was, I don't know what I was, but I was like, I'm into like music, and I care about the clothes that I wear, and I'm starting to kind of like, using a camera a little bit. but I didn't think I was an artist because my sister was painting these
artist.
like amazing, caricatures and things like that. And so that was the true artist.
Yeah.
But it took me forever to realize like, no. All that stuff that I'm like very opinionated on about my life and the way that I like portray myself to the world, like that's all creative,
Yeah.
And I don't know, I still wrestle now with like, how do you make that be your job?
Totally.
How did you bridge that gap?
I think it was hard. I mean, I think that's why I thought I would go into insurance sales. It was like in high school and at Samford, like everybody thought of me as this like good photographer, and I was like I was a great amateur. I didn't want to be like a lousy professional or a subpar professional. And so that's like I think it's a tough jump to make, because it is very different doing the work for fun, versus like my livelihood's on the line. I mean, I think it probably helped that I didn't need to make a lot of money to start.
Yeah.
I mean, my first job out of college. So the guidance counselor who was like, you should pursue this, she kind of helped me think through like, who could you actually talk to that could help you professionally if you don't know any professional photographers? There was an adjunct photographer in the journalism department who she was like, take him your portfolio. And I did. And he was like, well, intern with me the spring of your senior year. And then he hired me at spring break of my senior year. Like, hey, come work with me. I think he paid me $1,000 a month.
Wow.
But he was like, he was running a magazine and he was like, I'll throw you any job I don't want. She's like, great, I'll take it. I was
Thanks
fine
for
with
the
that.
honesty.
And he was like, that within the magazine, but also like people were contacting him for work and he'd be like, I don't want to do that job for $300 or whatever. Like, just, he would send them my way. So I kind of started accumulating like a really small client list of just like, he was just throwing me stuff. So I think it helped to not, I don't know, I don't want to say that there wasn't a ton writing, but I wasn't married. I was living with James Kling and another buddy of mine. We were just all out of college and somehow I made that work. So part of it is like getting your reps in when the stakes are lower, maybe.
Yeah. No, yeah, genuinely.
Yeah. And then just trying to like get your feet under you enough and get enough of a reputation to where the phone's ringing.
Yeah.
So, but it is hard. I mean, that's a tough jump to make. Like,
well, part of that is putting yourself in the orbit, which you've done just pretty historically. By the way, I didn't even really say what my connection with Bryan is and why I keep
Oh, yeah.
how much I know him.
I should have established that before.
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's better to find out later.
I worked with Bryan from 2007 to 2019.
Okay.
And then we still work together pretty often.
If you had listened to Brandon's episode, then you would know that.
Yeah, sure.
We're just assuming that everyone here is listening to all your episodes.
Yeah. So I think you just have always historically tried to get in people's orbit,
Yeah.
To serve them well, but also like by being in their orbit and their space, like opportunities naturally manifest themselves. And I think like your excitement to help that photographer like just put you in a place to get some of that offshoot work, right? Whereas like some people are either scared or it's not the right opportunity or it's not quite the ideal alignment. You were just like, this is an open door and I'm just gonna stick my foot in it and stick around here as long as I can. And that was very instrumental. But I think like to your question about like where does some of this, how do you kind of cut your teeth sometimes? And it's just like availability is one of the most under recognized kind of qualities in somebody, just being around.
Yeah.
And
be available
and just be okay with whatever,
Did you have a lot of friends around you who are kind of doing similar things?
Carrie Norton, who's still a working photographer. He was probably the closest to me, and we shared my first studio, which was in the Phoenix, which is where the Phoenix building downtown Birmingham, which is where I work out of. Carrie Norton and I shared a space together, and we both graduated Samford, and we're both like just trying to figure it out. I think he was working at Wolf Camera and shooting, and y'all know what Wolf Camera is? Was that around?
Yeah.
Has that been around?
I don't know what that is.
It used to be in downtown Homewood, but it was
It's where like the little donkey and
yeah, it's
basically that, right?
I think it's what Edgar's is now.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I had a few. I'm trying to think who else. There was another girl I graduated with who was shooting. It was enough of a little community.
Yeah.
So yeah.
A ton of my friends, especially through college, were into the similar things. They were all musicians, photographers, videographers, like that whole thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were a lot better than me at all of those things, even though I dabbled in some of them.
Yeah.
And I think something that's always held me back, I don't know that I ever really wanted to be like a professional photographer. My focus in school was economics. But I interned and did a bunch of jobs that were all like with video or design agencies and stuff. And I had this one summer internship with a company in Chattanooga, and we got to do a ton of cool stuff. Like there was this amazing house that came up for sale in the city that was like a $20 or $30 million house built by this, famous architect. And so we like flew to Virginia to go interview the architect, and then like came and like got to shoot at this house and do all this cool stuff. And then I'd have a ton of fun doing all the shoots, and then we'd go back to the office and they'd ask me to like cut up clips and break down interviews and do all this stuff, and I hated it.
Like you liked the shooting.
Yeah, I was like, I want to go there and like, interview the person and meet the person, and then I don't want to go back and edit. And then so I decided to start a podcast so that I would go back and edit. But I decided not to go down that route, and then started focusing more on business and stuff. But I think one of the things that held me back from taking that leap was I was surrounded by people who are all, in my opinion, better than me at that thing. And so I was like, I didn't really see what I was doing as worth like being paid to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I was like, A, you should hire like Blake or Chris or like one of my other friends who's better at this than me. And B, it's like, it didn't feel like it was a very marketable skill, if that makes sense. Because I've kind of always a little bit known how to pick up a camera and use it, because my grandfather was a photographer and my great uncle was a photographer. Did you ever feel that way? Like most of what I wrestle with is like, how do you charge a price for something that feels like art, you know?
Well, I have one comment about what you...
I guess those are two different things in a way.
Well, one comment, like my brain goes to, it's amazing how often we're hamstrung by the person we think is better than us. Like, I just think we all have the people in our head that we know or perceive as being better at the thing than we are. And like, nobody else knows those things. And how often people are not, I don't know, how often we can be in our own head about those things, and it can keep us from actually doing the work. But your question though was doing the art.
Yeah, like charging a price for what feels like art. Like photography in a way, it can be pure art.
It can. I've never thought of myself. I've thought of myself more as a creative than an artist, in the sense that like I think of an artist who's like going out and creating something, and then you decide if you're going to buy that thing that I've created. I think of more just being in a creative field where I do creative things as a service to people. So, I don't know if I've ever really struggled with charging for that, just because like I said, there are services out there that people charge for all the time.
If you think about it as a service and not artistry, then I think that helps.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody can artfully decorate a home, but that's for sure a service that certainly improves the overall look and value and feel of the rooms that they're in.
And I hope that the service is artful.
Sure.
Like I hope that it's like communicating like something really deeply to the person who's perceiving it and receiving it.
But typically you have an objective that you're trying to do, and that objective is not your own.
Right.
And that's a big difference between like service-based art, I think, and
Yeah.
then, art in general is that you're creating for someone else to do something for their benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I interviewed a girl, her name was Liz Allison. Are you
Yeah.
familiar with her?
Yeah. This is crazy talented
Yeah, amazing.
photographer, and also just her
And now muralist.
her murals are insane.
And so when we were talking, I was asking her, like, how do you figure out how to price like a mural? Because it's so unique and different every time, and all this stuff. And she said her studio managers helped her a lot with that, because she has to realize, like, she is not her clientele. Like, she's not gonna go spend $100,000 on a mural for her own house. She's just gonna do it herself. So
It is an interesting thing to not be your client.
yeah,
You're serving
that's
your
kind of what I'm
client.
getting around to, is like, that's what I wrestle with myself. It's like, I don't pay someone to mow my lawn because I just do it myself.
Yeah. What's it like to be charging for a service that you couldn't buy?
Right.
It definitely sometimes can give you a little head trip.
Yeah. I
So-
wrestle with that. Maybe I'll get over it one day. I don't know. So where along the lines do you start your own studio? Because you work for...
Well, I
Professor.
want to go back to something you asked earlier. You were talking about, like, because I think you've done really well with this over the years. You're talking about, like, how do you fend off, or how do you work, even if you look at those around you and you're like, this person might be better than me, And I think that's a real thing that certainly probably I would venture to say almost every sane creative deals with some form of imposter syndrome or comparative
insecurity.
insecurity. But I think one thing that, because even in the wedding world, believe it or not, there's like celebrity wedding photographers. And
I believe it.
Probably in any industry, there's some sort of celebrity fill in the blank, celebrity, post hole diggers. I bet.
Dude, I bet. Yeah.
And I bet
there's
they
a celebrity
crush.
fence maker. And
I know there are celebrity lawn care guys because I've seen them.
Yeah.
there's celebrity window washers. For sure.
There's like celebrity Donkey Kong players,
Uh-huh.
because there's a whole documentary about it.
That's right.
Fistful of Quarters. Have you seen that?
Nope.
Oh
haven't.
man, that'll make you realize that there's a
There's a market for anything.
There's a market for anything.
market for anything.
Yeah.
There's also just like a
vertical.
or
everything ever.
with hierarchy in
Yeah.
in everything.
Yeah, and so I think that there was always this like desire to like, do we try to follow what other people are doing and try to keep up? But yeah, I think when our business was at its best, we were not measuring. We weren't using anybody else as a measuring stick. We were using how well we were taking care of our clients as a measuring stick.
Yeah.
And so for you, like, skill is a component of your ability to serve people creatively, but there are multiple aspects of it. Like, your style is one thing, but your customer service ability is another, and your attunement when you're shooting, is another, and your how relatable you are is another, and how much they enjoy you is another, and that sort of mixture, that combo, sort of cosmic gumbo, as they say,
Right.
is what makes it to where the only measuring stick isn't just how good is camera,
Right.
So I was curious, like, how you dealt
It's
with
like
that.
Seth Godin. Several of those that are listening.
Seriously?
Shout out Seth Godin.
Purple cow.
He's still alive. He's
Still
not in
alive.
heaven.
Okay. Miss you. No, he's just not relevant, so I'm just kind of giving.
Right.
Maybe he is. I'm
Back
sorry,
in his
Seth,
day.
if you're still relevant, but
I had to read his book in school. He's
Yeah?
the Purple Cow guy.
Purple Cow,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I had to read that, so
Classic.
maybe
It's classic.
I guess.
Yeah. Still relevant at Sanford.
Yeah, at Sanford for what that's worth. I don't know.
Well, you did with your business degree.
Yeah, what did I do?
Read as many Godin and Gladwell and
Yeah, E-Myth.
good to great.
Yeah.
Hey, E-Myth
Jim
was
Collins,
fire. E-Myth
E-Myth,
was
dude, yeah.
really good.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Cogs something.
I think you're thinking of a different book, man.
Yeah, Linchpin.
Linchpin.
Yep,
Yeah.
there it is.
That was Seth Godin.
Yeah. So you think this is an idea that I'm wrestling with because I don't fully understand how to apply it. I hear a lot of people who are successful talk about being more obsessed with process than outcomes. And that's kind of what I feel like y'all are talking about a little bit. Focusing on the individual acts that create the outcome and then trying to create excellent versions of each of those individual acts and then trusting that the outcome will be something good because you've focused on all of those individual components.
You think that's true?
Yeah, when you first said it though, I was gonna say I'm more interested in the outcome than in that like to me I can get so hyper focused on trying to get there the same way that everybody else got there that I don't stop and look up and say like, oh, I've got wonderful clients right now and I'm really happy with the work that I'm doing. And so in that sense, like sometimes I can skip over the outcome in favor of that comparative, like, are we on social enough, or are we getting enough attention, or do people know our name? Could they spot us on the street? But I think to your point though, I think it's like, it's two ways of looking at it. It's the same thing. It's like, I'm not necessarily trying to say that this is what a win looks like. Like everybody's win is not the same. And so because of that, I'm just going to show up and focus on the things I can control and do really well and make those excellent.
Yeah.
And you've done that all throughout your career, almost like your litmus test has been, is this interesting? And if it doesn't interest you, you don't
follow
pursue it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You try not to get good at something that you dislike.
Yeah, that's very fair. Yeah, and I think following the energy of like your own, like what's the thing that excites you? Like if this excites you, you should keep doing it, you know?
Yeah.
And selling to those that are listening, it's like whether you're the best at it is, of course, get better at your process and your craft, but also like there's people who are actually listening to you, you know? And that's an honor, and that's something to steward well. And it's also worth remembering, like, why are the people that I think are better than me or that aren't listening to me living rent free in my head when like I have all these people who care about what we're doing and are following or offering to pay for our services. So I don't know, that kind of can diminish the imposter syndrome of feeling like there's someone better than me. And so,
yeah. Do you consider yourself to be ambitious?
Man, I don't know. I feel pretty. I could go
There's
yes
a
or
fine
no.
line between stupid and ambitious.
I see some people. I'm like, whoa, they're ambitious. Like they have a motor that never stops. And I'm like, oh man, my motor definitely stops. I need to go to bed at night. But I mean, I do care about my process. I would say generally speaking, I would not put myself in the overly ambitious category. Is that fair?
Yeah. But the phrase that we used to talk about a lot was the long, hard, stupid way. And sometimes that is more ambitious, is to say, this is what I want. And unconventional wisdom would say, let's not go after that. But like, I kind of want to do this. Like you did hand cut prints for your clients. for years, as opposed to ordering them from a print shop, because he just was like, none of this other stuff looks good to me. I only want tactile, beautiful, expensive, hand cut, that we print in house.
Yeah.
And like, I fought you on that. I was like, this is not, your margins aren't going to be high enough, blah, blah, blah. You're like, it doesn't matter. This is not this other commodity.
But I feel like if I was ambitious, I would have been doing that. This is kind of how I feel.
Yeah.
But
but I think ambitious is to say, this way is weirder and stranger, but I resonate with it, and I'll do what it takes to kind of get that outcome, as opposed to like, I need to drive to make the most profitable.
Yeah.
Yeah. When did you get married? Changing gears.
Yeah, changing gears. I like it. I got married in 2003. So I graduated in May of 2002, married in August of 2003.
Did y'all meet at Sanford?
Met at Sanford. Yep. Came in at the same year. She's Ashley. Shout out Ashley.
She's also alive. He's just up for the heaven.
Yeah. What can I do?
Yeah. There you go.
There it is. There it is.
Babe. She's not watching this. She's from Baton Rouge. We got married in Baton Rouge in August of
Do you like Baton Rouge?
Baton Rouge, I like her parents' house.
Okay.
I like their neighbor. I like riding bikes around the neighborhood. It's not like I would. Yeah.
I
don't
want to be rude, but I hate on Baton Rouge all the time. I say it's
Olivia
terrible.
said if she could move to any one city in the world, the whole world, she would move to Baton Rouge.
Holy
man, I don't know what kind of weekend she had there.
Yeah, she traveled to a wedding there once.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
She's like, I just want to relive that wedding every day of my life.
Yeah,
really, her experience was the hotel and the.
So yeah, we got married in 2003 and had Noah in 2005. So moved into our home in Crestwood when Ashley was pregnant with Noah. So
same house you live in now?
Same house we live in now. He's a sophomore at Auburn. So
that's crazy.
So yeah, 3 kids: Noah, Gavin, and Finley. Noah's 20, Gavin's 18, Finley's 16. So
fantastic.
Yeah, that's the Johnson crew.
What does your wife do?
She wears many hats. She runs a mean household. She homeschools Gavin. He's a senior. She is the women's ministry coordinator at Iron City. She helps run my studio. So she produces all of my shoots and keeps my books and keeps me out of jail. And she also is a fitness instructor at the Y. So
heck yeah,
a lot of hats.
Yeah, that's a lot of hats.
So she's amazing.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
she's awesome.
Yes,
Their collaboration is.
It sounds like it.
It's so fun to see because.
Yeah, Brandon's had a front row seat.
The 3 of us worked together for so long, and it was just sometimes I just sit and just watch him go back and forth because. Traditionally he is more gas than brake, and she's more brake than gas, which again typically keeps a business running.
She would say, "Can't we just do what we did last year again this year?" She would say that a lot. That worked fine. Yeah. Why are we changing anything?
Things? And that again also kept us out of bankruptcy.
Yeah,
and so it was always so great,
whenever we were at our retreats and we'd be like, we're going to have a conversation about things we want to push forward and do new this year. She's like, I'm going to go get my book and y'all talk.
Yeah. Cause
I'm going to go take a nap.
Cause I know this probably won't come to fruition. You guys just get it out of your system and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do y'all work well together, you think?
We do. We work very well together because we complement each other very, very well. So, she's very detail oriented. She's, we just have complementary skill sets.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of husband and wives would not work well together, but it's been great. She's been working at the studio since 2009.
Yeah.
So
I think even if they weren't husband and wife, they'd be an ideal partnership.
Yeah.
How well that they actually work together.
Yeah.
And so when I think about your studio, what makes you stand out to me than other freelancers, to circle back to your earlier question, is that it is the pair of you guys together.
Yeah.
And what she brings to, from a structure standpoint, and a piece and a focus, and then you bring like vision and craft. It's just a ideal combination, and I think that your clients are always saying that to you. That what makes you different than other people that we've worked with in the past is just we feel like we get the total package.
Yeah,
when working with your team.
For sure.
What outside of the photos themselves makes someone successful at what you do?
That's a great question. So what are the things around photography that make someone a successful photography, but not
the photos themselves?
Yeah. It's funny. I would always train my assistants, or our kind of philosophy when we would walk into a wedding situation was like, we never walk in with our camera. Like we walk in and we like meet people, and we're engaging relationally. And I think the soft skills that go into specifically being a portrait or kind of a lifestyle photographer, the soft skills of trying to connect relationally and setting people at ease is like the half the battle is really just getting people comfortable and getting people to like let their hair down and not make them feel like a photo shoot is a big deal. So it's a little like being a duck, where like under the water, your legs are like freaking out, like, how am I going to get the shot? Holy cow. Like, how do I do this? But like externally, just trying to put people at ease. So yeah, I think it's a very highly relational, high soft skill trade.
Yeah.
So
how do you move from wedding to other commercial work?
Like, how did that transition happen?
Yeah. And what sort of commercial work do you do? Like, Caleb Chansey does a lot of restaurants and food photography and stuff like that. We just interviewed him.
Yep.
What else are you doing?
So I would say anything, like when
he shoots tiny socks.
Oh,
just like little tiny
socks for mice.
He is so good.
Really good.
You're working on Ratatouille 2, right? Or 3, whichever one's next.
Yeah, it's Rata and then 2. And
then
we.
Yeah.
So it's actually about him and his brother.
Yeah. And you were on the Stuart Little set too, weren't you?
Yeah. I love Stuart Little.
Big on like the micro things.
He does he also does BTS of mice films.
Have you met Rufus Mouse?
Not yet.
No, he is.
Should we get him for the pod?
Dog, yeah. So no, I do not shoot mice socks. Just to clarify, I would say like anytime somebody wants to capture like the ethos of an organization, their people and the energy around what they do. Most of it's like service driven. So it could be an organization like a school or a camp. Could be a business, could be capturing culture, could be capturing portraits, but really it's people-centered, service-driven work is kind of the stuff so that could be a corporate office, that could be Hope Heals Camp for 2 weeks. So those are kind of the ranges. Sometimes it's in hospitality, could be for a restaurant, but if it's for a restaurant, normally it's around the people and less around the food. Like Caleb, he does some around the people too, but he's really good at the food. So, people kind of culture-driven work, portrait work.
Did you find yourself there, or did you intentionally move in that direction?
You know, I always tell the story of what I would just call the biggest commercial job maybe that I've ever landed.
That was your first one.
Yeah, been all downhill from there. But in 2015, I got a call from a guy who was on my freshman hall at Sanford, and he was like a marketing person at Chick-fil-A, and he was like, hey, we are working for this project to put new like panels inside of our restaurants, and we want these panels to feel, we don't want to just be showing food like they're already eating food. We want it to be something different. We've always talked about our restaurants that we want them to feel like a dining room or a home experience. So we want the photography to feel like we're in a home. And the efforts of the people that we've hired to do this stuff, it keeps falling flat. And I keep coming back to, I just want it to look the way your wedding photos look. And he told a friend that, and he was like, well, have you called Bryan and asked him if he would do this? And he was like, no, I haven't. So he called us and was like, hey, can you come do this giant campaign? Like, it's still hilarious to me that we landed this with no commercial experience. Like, we had I had no commercial portfolio. Like, if you went to my website, it was just weddings.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, I want it to look like how could I do stuff? And they wanted it to be around like some of their service initiatives. They wanted to photograph their lemon farmers. They wanted to photograph, just various different service things that they support. But they wanted it to feel very familial and loose and not like...
They wanted the photographs to feel like if you're hanging out in your living room.
Yeah.
Images that might be on your mantle or beside you.
Yeah.
And it was all black and white photography.
I think I know this campaign because I worked at Chick-fil-A in high school, which would have been like 2017.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's right when
that's
it rolled
what I'm
out.
envisioning.
So that was our work.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Brandon
insane.
produced it and I shot it. I was in Myrtle Beach this weekend and was in a Chick-fil-A and actually photographed on the wall 3 that are still up.
That's
Here
crazy.
We are.
Yeah.
What,
some of them don't
11
get
years
switched
later.
over any.
Yeah. So that was wild. Like, we landed that campaign and we had no business doing that campaign. Like, we did it though.
Except for the fact that, like, you really tap into human authenticity, and that's where what people are really hungry for in like commercial spaces now. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's where you were at a major advantage as opposed to other photographers that shot commercials because they didn't have any of that. It was all fake authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And so we didn't have any business except for the fact that you were the best person to shoot that campaign.
Yeah.
Didn't know what we were doing in the sense that we'd never built a commercial. We didn't know what licensing was. We didn't know what...
They were like, send us a call sheet. And we're like, great, absolutely. And we get off the phone. We
What's a call sheet?
What is a call sheet?
It's like, oh, that's what we do for weddings when we build a schedule. Like, oh, let's just do that.
So we made the most overproduced call sheet anyone's ever seen.
Yeah, so that was kind of our jump into that. And then it was like, okay, like, how do we land more of that type of work? And I think over time, I mean, there's a lot of factors we don't need to get into, but like just me wanting to maybe transition to a different type of work. I mean, the wedding work has been such a blessing, and like some of the most amazing people I've ever met. I've had the privilege of photographing their weddings, and some of the most beautiful places and experiences I've ever had have been around shooting weddings. So grateful for all of the wedding work I've had, but also just trying to follow that energy and like what you're finding interesting. I think it just kind of, it wasn't like a quick transition, but just kind of slowly trying to move. Built a different brand because it's like what people want for wedding work is very different than commercial work, and have slowly just kind of phased out the wedding, and now it's just one website. So yeah.
But one thing I want to point out to you about his story is like he got that phone call. It's 2026 now. In case somebody's watching this 15 years into the future.
Yeah. You think so?
You could be.
I hope so.
Maybe like the day of my funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
15 years into the future.
Hey, you never know. Could it be tragic?
No.
He got that phone call in 2015, and his roommate his freshman year was 1998.
Hallmate, but yeah.
Hallmate in 1998, right? Graduated in 2002. So 13 years after he graduated, he gets this phone call, right?
Yeah.
So just want to encourage you, like, you know, as you're asking these questions and thinking about it, for anybody who's like 23, 24, 25, like, why aren't my opportunities coming? Like, you know, sometimes opportunities take 13 years to get rolling, you know?
Yeah.
You shot weddings for, 13 years, and then that came up, and then you kept shooting weddings and kind of veered into that, where you really just a couple of years ago is when you really fully committed into commercial, which is like well after 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it may just take time for your friends to be in enough of a position
Yeah,
where they're
like,
making
for
It
decisions.
takes your friends like 12 years to get into
You'll
leadership
just-
positions, and then the 13th year, then they'll hire you.
Like, because I mean, that's
sure.
the thing is like, and that's why you just treat people with a lot of respect over the course of your career, because 15 years into your career, that's when those people are decision makers of their organizations, right? And like, that's why you just, always treating people as a means to an end, but
Right.
that's why you just take care of people and care about them and serve them well and stay curious and keep learning, because like you hear outlier stories of people that hit when they're 22 years old, and then you're sitting there frustrated, why didn't that, you know? And you hear plenty of stories of people who like didn't hit when they were in their 30s, and so they were like, well, I guess I'm just not going to hit. But like sometimes it takes 13 to 15 to 20 years to kind of like find what you're good at and kind of get into it. And
It's also cool to me to think like Dustin Britt, who was the one who hired me, like we weren't even like close friends. Like we were acquaintances and like always enjoyed each other's company. But it's also just wild, especially like at a place like Sanford. It's like it's really cool to see where some of those connections end up reconnecting.
Right.
And then sometimes it's not where you expect it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a Steve Jobs quote that I reference on this podcast probably every episode, which is, and I always butcher it, but it's something like...
every episode.
I mention it all the time, but I never know exactly what it is. But it's something like, you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking back. It's from like his commencement speech at Stanford or something. And my wife teases me because I'm like continuously obsessed with meeting new people and learning about other people, and hence I have a podcast, but I hold on to that maybe too much. Like, I know whatever I do with my life, like it'll be found along the way, and it's like an adventure in the process. And so when I get down on myself about, I don't think that I'm as far along as I should be at 26. It's like, who cares? Just have fun along the way, And that's why my wife is the put the brakes and be calm and be peaceful part of our relationship.
Yeah.
And she says that to me like every day. It's like, we have a great life.
Yeah.
Like, enjoy it. We have a wonderful 100-year-old home right down here, down the street from our church, where all of our friends go. And it's a beautiful life.
Yeah.
And I don't know what I want to do for my job, but that's okay. Like, it takes time.
Well, and the creative life is an adventurous life. Like, if you think about an adventure, like there's like highs and lows, and like you're signing up to go on a really cool adventure, and a lot of times you just don't know where that's going to lead. But it can be a ticket. I mean, even just like us talking about the different people that you have interviewed, like part of that adventure is like a camera is kind of like my ticket to all of these other experiences. Like, it has taken me like so many different places and allowed me to experience so many different things. And similarly, like this adventure for you is a microphone, and the people that you get to interview and giving you a front row seat to like these really cool people and their stories. So,
That's good.
part of that though is like, you don't know where it's going to lead.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like just being faithful to the next step and not really stressing about where it may lead. But
What was it like trying to build a business while having a family, like a young family?
That's a great question.
Because that's one of my fears is
Yeah.
like the inconsistency of working for myself
Yeah.
and trying to raise kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that, yeah, your family's on that adventure too,
Yeah.
you know, for better or worse. It's, my wife and I joke, I probably shouldn't share this story. The guy she dated before me was an accountant, and I'm like, yeah, that would have been a lot more easy adventure. Man, maybe
a lot more
maybe
boring.
a little, yeah,
a lot more
adventure.
boring.
maybe
A
not
lot more
an adventure.
boring.
Yeah. Like,
It's like the paved path.
Part of me is like-
national parks. Or it's like
Glamping.
to the high points.
Glamping.
We'll walk on the paved path, but we might not kick a root on the way there or break an
oh
ankle.
man, yeah. Yeah, it's just funny to me. The joke is like, yeah, maybe that would have been a lot less, maybe a lot less exciting, but maybe a little more stable.
Yeah.
No, but like it definitely is an adventure for your family, you know, for better or worse. So, I mean, there are some creative paths that are linear. Like, I don't feel like mine has been like, even if you're just talking about financially, like it hasn't been a linear path for me. Like, we've never lacked, but it also hasn't been linear. So, I mean, I think being humbled by either a lack of work or things like COVID where all your work's taken away, and you literally have to live on your knees and just be grateful for the opportunities that come your way. I mean, I think we feel we have been humbled, but also like we feel incredibly grateful for all of the work that we're provided. I've never had to do anything else. I've never, I've had moments where I've been like, should I keep going? Like, can I? Like, am I done? Am I burnt out? Like, do people still want to hire me? And so you definitely have a lot, you know, have moments of self-doubt. But I feel very grateful that I've been able to do this without any pauses or breaks. And hopefully that still remains to be true. I'd like that to remain to be true.
Yeah.
Well, and he's done a really good job of like where he can bring in the family along the way, but also make no doubt about it. Like, you know, being gone on Saturdays was tough, but
Yeah.
like, I got to have firsthand experience of like, that's kind of like a part of the deal, but you just, it's a constant fight to stay as engaged as you possibly can. And there's no one's perfect in that, but like, I don't know, if I'm going to diatribe, it's about feeling impatience toward people who are like, it's all about the art, and the art's what's important, and my family will come second to that. And I think we're at our best as fathers and husbands, and certainly what I saw from you is when you were like, this is important to me, but it will always be number two. Always, always, always. And like, it'll maybe come alongside and your spouse has to carry a burden, you know, which is amazing. And your kids might have to, you know, carry some burdens. But I know from firsthand experience, you fought through that to like, and I can't think of a more engaged father than you've been to your kids.
Thanks,
and
man.
So to have battled probably with some of the guilt and frustration of being gone on Saturdays, to also be, you know, a father whose kids at 22 and or 20 and 18 and 16 like want to hang out with him, you know, I think that's a big win. So it does not come without its like constant pressing,
Right.
to hold those two. It's like holding two things, you know, pulling you in opposite directions.
It can be, I also never really built like a scalable business. Like, so doing work means me doing work.
Right.
I really admire people who can do that. I just personally haven't found that. So like, work is like, you're always flapping your wings, you know? And obviously I just rattled off like 4 jobs that my wife has. So like, she's flapping her wings too.
Yeah.
So like, those things, yeah, I mean, you definitely wish at times things were easier, and you still wish for that. But I don't I don't think she and I would look back with any regret, even if things are hard. So
Yeah.
or haven't been easy along the way.
Yeah.
So
Do you make art outside of your work?
no, I don't think so.
You,
What art do I do?
I mean,
Do I art?
Yeah, you definitely. I mean,
I don't know.
tell them about the Mr. Johnson.
Pour overs? No.
I feel like you
no,
got-
he
you'll
means
take your-
outside of photo. Like, do I
You
do
said
any-
outside of work, right?
Outside of work, do you make art?
Yeah, I think
But
he
do you
definitely
mean,
does.
or do you
Like
mean like
Josh
outside of
Carnley,
photography?
Yeah, like Josh Carnley is a designer,
Yeah.
but he like paints.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I
And
do
does,
not.
like,
I do not
other-
art.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch the Hawks and the Braves and the Falcons and. No.
Yeah.
But I bet he does like bring his camera to like personal functions.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, I
you
do.
know,
I mean,
don't want to design for people when I'm done designing.
Yeah.
Like, but you did
but
this.
yeah, I don't feel like I have another like main creative outlet other than enjoying to write. But that would just be personally writing. But yeah, I'm a terrible drawer.
Yeah.
I cannot paint.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I was curious. I've heard both ways. Like some people like that's the job and that's
Yeah.
it. And then
that's
some
what I think
people,
is so
like-
interesting with like not being raised in an artful home, and then like suddenly finding this thing, like a creative endeavor. But yeah, that was like never been something that I've been drawn to.
Yeah. I was
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my perspective,
Yep.
whether you know it or not, you've been a mentor to like a lot of my friends,
Okay.
whether you would claim it or not.
Yeah.
Do you think about that from your position as like a seasoned creative in your industry? Do you look
Means old.
seasoned?
I'll take it.
Do you
They
look
call
at
us sages at my church. I'm a sage.
right? When you see people who are my age who are, you know, Josh Jones or Delane
Yeah.
Hurd or someone who's getting
Yeah.
into the world,
Yeah.
do you see yourself as like a mentor figure to them, and do
Yeah.
you seek that out?
What's interesting, I feel like any of those relationships that have happened they tend to happen organically. I don't have any kind of like mentorship program. Even like Delane interned with me before he left Samford. It was his senior year at Samford, and he was like, "Hey, I need an internship," and I was like, "Okay, you can come intern with me, but as long as you don't ask me, like, I'm not going to give you anything to do. You can just you can be around." Like, that's stressful to me. Like, if I've got
Yeah.
to sit around and like think of things for you to do, and then I've got to teach you how to do it and all this stuff. I was like, you can be around, and when things happen, like, I'll invite you and we'll do it together.
Yeah.
Sit in this chair until.
Just like an intern, like, "Hey, what do you want me to do?" Like, "Oh, man, I don't know, man. I've got stuff to do over here."
Yeah.
Brandon's probably got the better internship program.
Yeah.
But I think that just relationally, it's funny. I've been working with Allison Ray. Shout out Allison, still alive. Shout out Allison. She's doing like, what would you call it? Creative coaching or like.
Yeah,
She's helping Brandon
She's
too.
like a work-life balance coach, really
Yeah.
helping people.
Y'all should hire Allison. She's amazing.
Unlock like what's great for them in their work and what their ultimate goals and objectives are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were chatting through some things, and she just like stopped me at one point. She was like, I think you're biased towards relationships. And I was like, such an interesting phrase. I was like, okay. She was like, it just seems like you prioritize relationships over like financial goals or other things. Like, just naturally, that's kind of where you gravitate. So I think for me, things like mentorship is like, it's just a relation. Like, it's a symbiotic relationship. Like, yes, I am aware that there are things that I'm imparting and I'm teaching you a trade, but like, take Delane, for instance, who's probably been the most recent person that's been spent a ton of time with me, or even Josh Hunter, who's assisted me a ton, Ethan as well. Like, all of those relationships are in a way symbiotic, and I'm happy to impart what I have, but I also what I would want them to know is like there's a lot that they're imparting on me and things that I'm thinking through and they're helping me with. So I'm not trying to like avoid that question, because I do. It is an honor if somebody's saying like, "Hey, you've taught me these things, and I look up to you this way." Like that's like, praise God. I'm grateful that I can play that role in someone's life. But those roles go both ways.
Yep.
So I think that's probably been one of the coolest things about running the studio is just the people that have come through, even just to make that list of like. I mean, even going back to like Caleb Chansey was my first intern, and Caleb was like, then I met Jeremiah Sizemore, who then introduced all of their crew, Josh Housen, Rob Culpepper, Robbie Stone, like all these people, Jeremy Carter, all these people started like working with me, and it just, I mean, maybe going back to my childhood, just things being fun and a ton of people being around, like that's just what I was always excited about and driven by. The work being bigger than me and being about being together and working towards a common goal together. So mentorship is, I don't want to say it's haphazard. It's just less, like, I'm not trying to say I don't want to be thoughtful with young people and pour into them, but
well, it's such a rare. I think if you were to talk with anybody that's been in his circle, it's because they have always felt like you have treated them as equals along the way, and in doing so, you've helped people realize that this is unlike any relationship that they've had, because they consider your experience to be something that is just like poured freely into them, because you do consider it like, let's just, give back and forth to each other. But it is like something that people who are starting out or younger just feel like it's just like they just have just been given this ocean of graciousness, which is just unlike how most people kind of give, right? Usually it's
transactional.
Usually it's very transactional, and you've just always been somebody that's like, because your general inquisitiveness and your curiosity toward others and your care for like, I want to know what you're doing and I want to include you and bring you in. I mean, we joke that always be recruiting, but you're always trying to pull people into your space, and I think in doing so you help people feel value in a way that they've never felt before, and then it's like water in the desert. They just want as much as they can. And so I think that's why people stay in your orbit now, where you were in other people's orbits, because it's just refreshing in a way that they haven't been able to experience, and that they just can't get enough of it. They can't break away from it, because no one else has that, like, treats them the way that you treat them.
I mean, that's very kind. I want to receive that, and also feel like it is, like I said before, it's just a blessing to be able to work with great people. And I've never wanted things to be necessarily about me. I've wanted it to be about what we're able to do together.
That's it.
And
that's it.
That's that to me is a lot more fun. So,
do you think of yourself as a leader?
Not in the traditional sense.
Well, yeah, but a lot of what I'm
think
hearing.
We joke about having beta energy. Like, you think of a leader, you're like, all right, we're going to line up, listen to that guy. We're going, we're going to go through a wall for that guy.
But I mean, like, what I think of as a leader is like someone who people want to gather around. And that's just a lot of what I hear about you. I hear your name a lot as people want to be a part of what you're doing.
I'll receive
that.
I
don't know if you have.
I don't like a guy who's trying to get people into a circle than a guy who's trying to get people in a line behind him.
Yeah. And I think that bad leaders try and get people in line behind them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a too blanket statement.
I just want to hang out. Let's just get to hang out.
Yeah.
So, no, I'll receive that. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. What,
I don't know if I would necessarily be like, yes, I'm a leader, but
Right.
Why'd you say leader with that kind of voice?
Leader.
All
leaders are
I'm a
bad.
leader.
I don't know what
Nerd.
kind of leader that was. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, leadership is bad. That's the lesson that we've learned today.
Yeah.
This attack
Leader.
on leadership.
Yeah.
Anti-leadership podcast.
Toxic leadership.
Brian, what are you excited about for the future?
Man. Being a grandparent?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually really am excited about that. I'm nowhere close to that. None
Right.
of my kids are even dating anyone. But
Right.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. No. I mean, I honestly, I think, I think most of my excitement is often relational at this point. For my work, I would say like my favorite thing in the world is like working with guys like Brandon. Brandon, just to plug Build Design Studio, is doing incredible work. And going through my work from last year, I'm like, man, most of my favorite work was done with Brandon. So continuing to partner with great people or great agencies on the work side, it's whether it's weddings or organizations, it's all still very similar, like how you care for people and how you serve them. So yeah, I always want to be sharpening my trade and being better, but relationally, more porchings. Just that's what I always want those in the future.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
So yeah,
I like it. Brandon, any last thoughts?
No,
Did we miss anything?
I like that you said, we were talking once and talking about Brian as sort of like the godfather of the creative industry here.
Yeah.
And I
Dang.
think, like he's kind of really taken on that.
that seems a little intense.
We had a fire pit hang at the house, and
Was that
almost
there?
everybody,
Okay.
almost everybody at one point had worked with you or for you or assisted
Yeah.
with you. And like, it's like in sororities and fraternities, they have bigs and littles
Yeah.
and whatever's. It's
Yeah.
like you were
we
that to a lot of different.
I mean, off the top of my head, like Caleb Chansey, Bob Miller, Josh Jones, Delane Hurd. Like those are the first four people I can think of who I know mentioned your name. But I've heard your name for years and years.
Love it.
In all in good ways.
It's an honor.
Yeah, and I think that's, you've never cared about legacy. You've just cared about others, and I think that's ironically your legacy, And I think that's what, I'm glad that you're nowhere near done with your career.
Yeah. Thanks,
and
man.
that you can just kind of keep creating good work and showing other people a better way.
I hope so. Can I say some kind things about y'all?
Sure.
I think the energy y'all have feels very similar to the energy we had very early in our studio days. Like whatever y'all are hitting on, like just don't overthink it. Just keep going,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I think it's amazing.
We're having fun.
Yeah,
Stress
just keep
about
keep
monetizing,
Yeah.
just have fun. Like keep enjoying it and just keep interviewing people that you find interesting and that are inspired by, and like the rest will follow.
Yeah.
But whatever y'all are hitting on, just keep going.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
That was really nice.
All right.
Thanks, man.
I mean, from all I've heard from creative people, a lot of it is like, if you're having fun, just keep doing it.
Totally.
And like, if you do something with excellence and you enjoy doing it, like no one can outcompete someone who's having fun. So just keep having fun and it'll follow.
Yeah.
Whatever it is,
do
hopefully
you-
success, like in some capacity, that'll follow.
Are you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn.
Okay. Yeah. Have you seen the breaking and entering guys that they
No.
do? I'm going to show you one. They do
I guess I'm not on LinkedIn enough.
They do their like this like
See it right here?
60-second.
I'm going to put it right here on the
There it is.
on the podcast.
Breaking and entering.
Oh, breaking
guys.
and entering.
Yeah.
Okay. They do
We're doing
these,
this in
they do these
post.
daily they highlight the ad agency world and it's basically like two guys like you and Steven.
Okay.
And they do a daily 60-second drop of like anything that's happened in the industry, and it's total chaos.
Yeah.
And it's so lo-fi, and it's so fun and hilarious. And the what they have broken, like what they have how they've broken into the industry, and the people that they're now interviewing, and like it's just so fun. Like it's infectious. Like you can feel it, and it's like you can tell that they love it. And I think that that's just such a if you're having fun, just you're hitting on something. Like people are gonna have fun with you. So yeah.
Thanks. I'll receive that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
This
Thanks
is
for
really
having
fun.
nice to say about me, Myers.
I think he's probably said it in your podcast.
Yeah, we already did that. Sorry.
Your hat looks nice. Yeah.
No, I think in a lot of ways you're doing similar things to Bryan. I think you're leading people my age and helping them find the path. And from my perspective, you've been really helpful in helping me figure out the vision of this. So, thanks.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I was 100% joking.
No,
but
genuinely.
I appreciate the
Genuinely.
kindness. Now I feel like
Now that we've all
loved on each other.
Now that we've all given each other kisses on the mouth, I think it's time for the podcast to end.
kisses.
For sure.
Yeah.
Word kisses.
All right. Well, as they say in the furniture business,
cheers.
Cheers. Is that Caleb's?